like just to put as much time, six as you were willing to do at that time to make your different things are tweaked, and I really appreciate that I probably couldn't pick up you as an artist, how much of a perfectionist
That's all. I was getting in my head way too much. Way too much. Yeah, it's just a cool collection of songs just to get people, or whoever cares. Most people don't care, but whoever cares, just give them an idea of, the kind of music I make. Just like a teaser.
Done an interview with someone I didn't know too well in a while, so that's why I have a wine to relax me a little bit.
What we've got here is old man ball. Something that we gotta do.
All right, Cool Hand Podcast, something you got to deal with. Welcome back to the show. I am your host. My name is Q. We have another interview in the building. I'm very excited for this one and excited for what we're going to get into. Guest, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Victoria T.
Victoria Teague, welcome. Get some claps in there. All right, Victoria T, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Victoria, where are you coming from today? Where are you at?
I live in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I'm actually here in my dining room.
All right,
right
Bridgeport, now. Connecticut. Now I knew Connecticut, but I didn't know about Bridgeport, so I'm just gonna write that down. I have notes here.
Okay.
I don't know
Cool.
how important that information will be in the future, but I still like to write things down. So Bridgeport, Connecticut, and Victoria, what do you do creatively, artistically?
So I just I draw here and there. I mean that's basically like my main form of like my creative outlets. Painting, drawing, sketching, all of that.
Okay. And she's being pretty modest about her abilities because I've got to see some of the work that you do. Granted, it looks like you do a lot of work on TikTok, or you show your progress and stuff on TikTok. Am I right there?
Yeah. I used to use TikTok a lot for like any drawings that I would do. I haven't been on TikTok in a while, but yeah, I would like post on like my Instagram story and stuff too.
Okay, and I say that because your Instagram page, I'd went through it just to make sure if there was anything I was missing, and there is no art on there. I'm like, crap. So I just assumed it was all on TikTok, all your progress, but your work is really good, and we're going to get into that. So you have to be talented to be on the Cool Hand podcast. So welcome. It's nice to have you. And so let's just go back to the beginning of time in Bridgeport, Connecticut. What was life like growing up there in Bridgeport?
I feel like I had like a pretty normal childhood. I had like both my parents with me. I Bridgeport, it's more of like an urban city than uh, like what Connecticut kind of gets like that rep for. Like we kind of get like that like wealthy rep. So Bridgeport is more of like a little like urban. So I went to just like a pretty like middle school with like a lot of like mixed cultures, and like I was exposed to just like a mix of like cultures and diversity like pretty early on. So I think that's kind of like where my art and like my love for like art and like being different kind of stems from.
Okay. All right. And what did you do growing up? Do you have any siblings, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I have two older sisters. We used to do like just like anything like sisters would do together, like nothing like too crazy.
By the way, you know what? I meant to mention this story in the beginning. Now, we actually met some years back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, some years back, and my now wife, we were, before we were married, we're all over your cousin's house, and we're all just chopping it up, talking and stuff like that. And during this little therapy powwow session that we're all having, I bring up my, I don't even think Kayla, my wife, and I were dating yet, but we were kind of in that weird space that a lot of couples go through. It's like, are we dating? Are we not? And I was
Mhm.
explaining my situation, and I don't know what you said, but I just remember you being supportive. So, yeah, you probably don't remember. It was like probably insignificant to you, but to me, it was like, okay, well, somebody's in there with me. So, yeah, so we got married. So, you know, you believed in in something that worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad
Oh
it
yeah,
worked out.
I'm glad it did
I don't
too.
remember that.
But that's just a quick story. So yeah, we met a while ago, but I don't know you
Mhm.
too well. So we're gonna get to know you a lot today. So Bridgeport, Connecticut, two sisters, two
Mhm.
older sisters. You're the baby,
Yep.
and you guys did just normal stuff that girls do. What type of stuff is that? I don't know.
You know, we used to like play with our dolls and stuff, you know. Mostly me and my middle sister, we were like more of like the like let's do something creative, like let's play, like you know. So we would just kind of like feed off of each other's imagination. We did like a lot of like wild like games. Like we used to play like spies and stuff a lot. My
Mhm.
oldest sister, she wasn't, she was wanting to be grown, you know, so she didn't really play with us too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a normal childhood. And
Mhm.
so you and your middle sister, so you guys had a lot of the creative things going on. So I
Mhm.
think it would be safe to say that because that relationship that you had with your middle sister and the spies and the doing stuff like that, do you think that had a big influence on who you are today?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely wouldn't be the same person without them. You know, they're who I go to like for advice even to this day. You know, we always like bounce ideas off of each other. Yeah, they're like my best friends.
Shout out to the sisters. Shout out to the best friends. Shout out to the sisters. Now, uh, what's the fashion like in Bridgeport, Connecticut? And I asked this for a reason.
The fashion.
What is the fashion like? What are people dressing like in Bridgeport, Connecticut?
Um, I, I mean, just like any guy like walking down the street. You mean, or
And let
yeah?
me help. Let me say something because you have a unique style. You have
Okay.
a unique sense of style, and I don't. It was that influenced by what you saw in Connecticut, or more so
No.
you just no, not at all. Okay, so that
Not at
answers
all.
that.
No, not at all.
So there aren't people that
Um,
dress like you in Connecticut all the time.
I mean, I would say like my group of friends, we all kind of like have like that same appreciation for fashion, and I would definitely say that like they're like you know on par. Like we all have like a very similar sense of fashion. But I would say mostly like the inspiration, social media. You know, just like you know breaking out of like what you normally see in everyday life. I think you know like and getting exposed to like different styles, like different all around the world. You know, like European, Korean, Japanese, like all different types of fashion and just like what style means to somebody else. Even and like, you know, being in Bridgeport, we are very close to New York. So I mean, you know, before COVID, you know, I used to go to New York all the time. So that was kind of like where I would like put my fashion like to the test. I'm like, okay, like I'm going to New York, I'm gonna dress like this. Let me see if I look similar to somebody else or like if I feel like I belong in this scene, you know?
Mhm.
So that's kind of like fashion like for me.
Okay. Yeah. And I was going to ask, you answered that too. So thank you. I was going to ask, where did your inspiration and your fashion come from? So,
Okay.
um, you know, thank you for answering that because um, even with your influence being partially social media. There are a lot of people who are influenced by social media, and it looks like their favorite rapper, singer, influencer dressed them, and it looked bad. It looks bad on a lot of people. But I think my wife and I both agree that the things that you wear and the stuff you style yourself in, even the aesthetic of your Instagram is like it's very cohesive. Like you made that style, wherever you get it from, your own.
Thank you. Yeah. That's really cool, you know, because it's like even just like managing like my Instagram account, like it's just like, okay, like I want to post this because I like this. I think it looks cool. Like, you know, like it is similar to this last picture that I posted in color scheme and like whatever. Like, you know, that's just like a me thing. Like that's me, just like, you know, my Instagram represents who I am. So like I want to be, you know, proud of like what everybody sees, you know? So of course I'm going to put a little extra thought into like what I'm doing. But like it's cool that like even like you said, like, we don't really know each other too well, but like you kind of like can appreciate like what I'm doing like in that sense. So that's really cool.
Yeah. With you even saying that, that was nice what you said. Your Instagram represents who you are. And I look at you as a creative person. I look at you, you know, on my notes, I have Victoria T, artist / singer.
Oh, I wouldn't say I'm a singer. Okay.
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, you've been labeled a singer in this interview.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah. So just overall, I just look at you as a creative person. And let's talk about, we talked about your sense of fashion, but let's talk about your art, how you got into it. Now, before I talk about your background in art, what specifically do you do artistically?
Like, how do you mean? Sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of vague. The type of art, drawing, is it graphic design? Is it Photoshop? Things like that. What do you do? Freehand, paint?
Yeah, it's normally just like pencil on paper, you know? I haven't gotten really into digital art like yet. It's something I've always really wanted to do. But yeah, I just haven't like really like gotten myself to do it just yet. But yeah, so it's just mostly, you know, I have like, I don't know how many sketchbooks. Just like, I have like some like knockoff Copic markers, like paints. Yeah, that's my main way of art.
Well, how did you get into these things? Like, I think we all draw in school as kids, but not everyone's good at it. So, how did you really pick up art?
Yeah, I mean, definitely started like in school when I was younger. I guess I was like one of those kids, like everybody would like ask me, oh, can you draw this for me? Can you draw this for me? Like if we had like any projects, like I would always do my own art. Like I would like decorate it the way I wanted to. So that kind of just like grew in its own like kind of way. And I always remember like I had like this one art teacher when I was in like first grade, and we were doing like something with clay. And I was just like so like frustrated because like the clay was not doing what I wanted it to do. And like I was like, you know, like 6 years old, ready to give up. And like my teacher was just like, you know, art isn't about anything being perfect. You know, it's about finding like the beauty and the perfections in the imperfections. So like I don't know why, like as like a 6-year-old, like frustrated, why that stood with me. At first I was like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But then like, but obviously it stayed with me because I still remember it to this day. So yeah.
And you ran with it from there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's interesting that you say you didn't really get into like the digital art like that, because looking at some of the pieces that you made, and that we'll show a little later on, I would have thought it was some type of digital art, some type of effect you've used, but that was all freehand.
Yeah.
Okay. And Now, I've seen some of the things that you've posted on your Instagram story. What are some of the things that you like to draw, or that you specialize in?
Right. So I think you may be referring. So as of recent, like I've just kind of really been inspired by like anime style kind of art and just like replicating like some of like my favorite characters from like anime that I've watched, you know. It's kind of been like a pretty like I don't want to call this like a journey or whatever because like I feel like this is just something I've always done, but it's definitely been like a big arc, I guess, like in like where I stand like with my art and like with my drawing and stuff. It's just been like one of those things that it's like, oh, like I really feel like drawing this, like I want to try and draw this, you know. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that is what I was referring to, like the anime stuff.
Yeah.
Even in like your hairstyles, I'm like, was like something like your hair, like, I don't know. I feel like certain ponytails, like maybe like the two ponytails. Is that what they're called? Pigtails, ponytails?
Uh-huh.
Is that like an anime thing?
um I don't think
She's
so.
like, no, I just don't know what I'm
Like,
talking about.
I mean, no, no. I mean, like definitely, like in like the art style for like anime and stuff. Like I feel like the biggest thing is the hair. You
Mhm.
know, like making that hair stand out. Like that's how you can really tell. I feel like who your protagonist is in like any show, any like creation. Like their design and the hair is a big part of it. So you know, making like those like really dramatic like pigtails or like two ponytails. Like definitely, that's like I would definitely see where you were coming from with that. However, it is also like a thing, you know, like
Mhm.
girls like that, you
Yeah.
know.
You know what?
I
I'm
don't know.
not.
And like I definitely
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I feel like especially now, like in like trends and stuff like coming back, like I feel like that kind of like reverting back to like your childhood and like the hairstyles are and like even like some of the clothes too, like brands that like you used to wear as like a child. I feel like right now, like it's very popular like to see that like being like reinvented, you know? So like the pigtails, normally you would like view that as like, oh, like that's for little girls or something,
Hmm.
but like make it like adult, you know, make it fashion. So, so I definitely like I see both ends of what you went.
All right, got you. And I'm not too in my little defense, I am not too versed in anime. I think
Mm.
it's fairly all parents considered anime.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I totally get that too. I
Because
wasn't always like I wasn't always into it myself. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like it's one of those things. Now, you know what? We watched before COVID and everything. Oh man, I wish I remembered this movie title. We were over a friend's house and we watched this
Mm.
movie, and it was an anime. And I'm like, now I see why people are into it, because this movie was outrageous. Like the storyline, the plot, everything was like perfect. And I know like it's one of those things, like I don't own a PlayStation or anything. Because I
Yeah.
know, first of all, I'm busy. I don't have time to be on a PlayStation. But anyway, like if I got involved in like NBA 2K, yes, I would be on it all the time. And I think anime is one of those things with me
Mhm.
where I'm like, if I get into this, I'm gonna get addicted. So
Yeah.
I just admire from a distance. But with that being said, what are some of the animes that you like? Some of the things that inspire you to draw?
Well, my favorite anime is Hunter x Hunter. Um, I feel like that's a pretty especially nowadays, like it's a pretty like standard like anime for anybody who watches anime. Like they've definitely seen it and they probably love it. You know, if they don't, then they can die. But you know, so
Oh
that's like my
gosh.
all-time favorite, you know. But as far as like art style, I would really, I mean, and this is like also like anybody who watches anime, it's like a no-brainer. Any like Studio Ghibli like movie is just like so beautifully animated and like their art style is just so distinct and it's like you just automatically know like when you see it. And yeah, uh, I could go on about this, but I'll spare you. I'll stop there.
No, that's okay, because like when I do take my little notes, I do like look up some of the things. So I wrote down Hunter x Hunter. That is what it's called, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So
and someone might patronize me and say it's Hunter Hunter, whatever, however it's meant to be pronounced. That's how it's spelled. So yeah.
Hunter x Hunter. Well, that's what I'm going to go with because that's the first time I ever heard it pronounced. But I'm definitely going to look it up because I like to learn from these things. So a lot of anime. I can clearly tell that you can talk about some anime for a while. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know that face like when you want to talk about it more. But like you said, you'll spare me. But that's okay. Hunter x Hunter and films. Shout out to anime and all the anime heads. And you know what? I'm gonna add this in here. You know, I was born in '93. You know, I'm an old head. I consider myself an old head at this point. And when I was coming up, anime was not cool. If you were if you were a black person,
yeah,
and you watched anime openly, outside of like Dragon Ball Z, you got clowned. So I'm happy we're in a place in 2020 where we can all just lovingly watch and talk about anime. So shout out to anime.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Even like I feel like even like me coming up, like it wasn't like that. Like I said, like I wasn't always into it because like that's not cool, you know. But I still sneak a few episodes of like Naruto on Cartoon Network. Yeah, like, but I would never openly admit to that, you know. But yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. I'm glad that it is more like accepted in a way.
Yeah.
Because like I can talk about it now, like in like a podcast interview, like, you know,
Absolutely.
and like openly talk about how it's been like an inspiration for me. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people will appreciate that. One of the artists I interviewed before talked about how he's been heavily influenced by like Dragon Ball Z. One of his things that he does is like create Dragon Ball Z characters and things like that. So I know like the anime world is just so big and influential to people today. And even one of my friends, he a photographer and videographer, he's involved in like, I know he loves the anime stuff and he like films cosplay stuff and, you know, takes pictures of people who do that. So actually a lot of people I know are into it. So once again, shout out to anime.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten into cosplay myself, but
you said you got into cosplay?
No, I said I haven't. That's you know, I'm not gonna go there personally, but not it's just not for me, you know. Just not for me.
Go that far.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about that. Yeah, I don't I think cosplay is cool for the fanatics. I guess that's what a fan is a fanatic, but just leave it at that.
No, I totally respect like the cosplay community and I think it's super cool, but just like me personally, I wouldn't be able to pull it off. I just think I would be a little too uncomfortable, like, you know.
You know what, that stuff takes skill too. I see some of these people like making big old shields and swords,
and the makeup is like insane. Like it's so
that's a skill.
It's a skill for sure.
Shout out to the cosplay community as well.
Shout out to the cosplay community.
Now let's talk about some of your work. Let's talk about some of the work that that I've gotten familiar with. And you're working with a world-renowned lyricist, rapper, singer, mixing and mastering services. Your cousin, Crowded Places.
Yeah.
Now you did some work for this gentleman, and how did this collaboration come about with you and Crowded Places?
So like I said, like I had just been like posting some of like my art and stuff on Instagram, on TikTok, and he just like texted me one day and he was like, hey, like I'm working on an EP. I was wondering, you know, if you would mind like doing some cover art for me. And like, of course I jumped on that. I was like, yeah, like, are you kidding? like this whole time, like, you know, I just draw for me, you know, but if I can like, you know, use it for someone else, like, yeah, I'm all over that. So that was it, just a text.
Okay, so it was as simple as a text.
Yep.
So now that initial conversation or text that you had, did you plan on making one thing for him? Because you ended up making a few pieces
Yeah.
for several different things. So what was originally supposed to happen with the art you were making?
So I asked him for some inspiration because he told me the name was going to be somewhere soon. And I was like, okay, like it's not enough for me to go off, because I want to make something that's going to be true to the music that you're making. And I want to make something that's cool that represents it. So I was like, can I listen to a little bit? I was like, can I just hear something, that, might push me a little further to create something. So I remember, like, I was literally just chilling, like, in my room, and he just sent me, I'm not going to say which song. He sent me a song off the EP, and I listened to it, and there was just like one lyric that he kept repeating over and over again and in the song. And for some reason in my imagination, I just kept imagining like this paper airplane just like drifting over like a lake, And at the same time, I was imagining just like a rock skipping on that same lake. And those were the two ideas that I presented to Crowded Places. So I was telling him, like my thought process and like where I was going. And as I was explaining my thought process, I said, you know what, scratch those two ideas, let's combine it. And what do you think about a paper airplane skipping over like a lake or something, like a pebble skipping over a lake or like a body of water? And he was like, I love that, do that. so so that's what I did. But I, like with such a like an idea, with that idea, I just had a couple more ideas of like how to represent that. I could go wide angle, I could try to go like closer up, so that's when I drew I actually drew 3, but the ones that you see, it's just the 2. Just like an idea of it, like from like a wide angle, sort of, where you see the airplane actually like moving over the water and like where it's been and like the path it's traveled. And then in my second, you have a more like close up where it's like the airplane is kind of just leaving the ripple that it made on the water, with like rainbow water. But
Yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna, you know what, that's a perfect segue to show these pictures. I'll just show the one that you're talking about. Let me screen share for a second, and we'll do that. Now, not this picture. We're going to talk about this in a second. So, now is this the picture you were referring to? And can you see this?
Yeah, yeah, I could.
Okay, all right, good. So for the people who are watching, this is the Somewhere Soon artwork made by Victoria Teague. Can you talked about these things? So is this what we're looking at right now? Here's the paper airplane, okay, and this rainbow, this beautiful, I don't know how else to describe it, wash of colors. Now this is the ripple after it's been skipped.
Yep. So that's it, kind of like from like a higher angle. Like if I'm looking down on it, and it just skipped on the water, and that's like the ripple that it made, and it's like leaving to like make another like.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
No, like I think it's awesome. When I first saw the artwork, I'm like, wow, this is interesting, because I had mentioned before that I heard the project like in March, back when we first started doing the Zoom things, but that was March. I don't remember most of it. Like I don't remember everything. I just remember it was good.
Yeah.
So from someone on the outside looking in, the artwork is captivating. It makes you want to listen to it. I can think about from a music listener standpoint, when I first started getting into like indie rock and folk and things like that, and brand new to a different genre, what am I going to listen to music off of? I would just listen to music based off of the cover art.
Mm-hmm.
And some things I liked, but some things I didn't like. But it's that first picture that you see that really draws you in for someone like me. So I think you did a great job with the artwork, and clearly you did a great job because Crowded Places is very picky and very particular about everything he does. So for him to approve that and be happy with it says a lot.
Wow, cool. Thank you. Yeah. I wanted it to be like you said, like he is really picky. I had like a couple ideas, like I was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do like the rainbow water, maybe like, or maybe we should just keep it, like black and white, or make it like regular colors. And he was like, rainbow water. And I was like, oh, all right, So there was he definitely had his input in it too. So I think I like it even more, because of that, and like he chose this one to be the actual, like the cover art.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you sure? Like, I don't know. I don't really, that one, I don't know. And he was like, no, yeah, this is the one, this one. So, I like it even more that, it's not just me in it, it's his collaboration too. So.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Now let me ask about some of the other artwork that you did, which was for the promotional single for Crowded Places, which was Us versus Them. And I'm gonna throw that up there. Let me screen share again. And if you can for us describe the inspiration and what you did behind this piece of artwork. Let me find it. There we go.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, I just kind of ran with the same theme for both pictures. Well, it was originally just like one or the other idea, but he just ended up liking both of them. And he had the idea of making this one for the single and the other for the cover art. And this is basically just the same idea, just somebody skipping a paper airplane over like a pond.
Yeah.
And there it goes.
Yeah, you know what? I did not realize, I'm going to stop the screen share. I did not realize that whole time that was the paper airplane, because I'm like looking on it on Apple Music, and I did not realize that until I just blew it up now. Interesting. Okay. And there's one more I want to talk about, and I'm going to elaborate on that, which is, let me screen share one more time. And that is for the Billie Eilish cover of, I'm technically challenged here. Let me zoom out.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I can imagine handling this. I can't even figure out how to screen share on Zoom.
You know what? Listen, I'm young, but I'm not good with technology. Trust me. Okay. Now we are on to the now is this the song Everything I Wanted? Is that the title?
Yeah.
All right, and that's Billie Eilish, and this is the artwork, and I really like this. Now, can you talk about the story behind this artwork?
Yeah. So again, he reached out to me. He wanted me to do the cover art for this, just like this cover. And at the time, I'm a big Billie Eilish fan, like just as like a precursor. So at the time, Billie had just dropped her single My Future. And for the video for My Future, it was like all animated, very like anime-esque style. And it's like the character of her and just like this little forest, that is like really dreary. And then eventually as like the song progresses, it just like lights up, and it was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. So he asked me to do the cover art like around that same time. And I was just like, okay, well, what if I just like combine that this is a Billie song, and at the moment she's doing this like animated like style. And so far I've been representing you as a paper airplane or skipping a paper airplane. Why don't I combine these two ideas? So I decided to draw Crowded Places as like his own like anime-esque type character, being the source throwing the paper airplane or skipping it into the pond. So there's how that started.
Okay, so it all connects. I'm glad you said that. So
Yeah.
he's throwing the. Oh, I love it. This is very insightful.
Yeah.
Everything's connected. Okay, and
Yeah.
speaking of this song, you are a big Billie Eilish fan. Just come to know. Now, I heard one Billie Eilish song in my life. I have to admit, I am a Billie Eilish hater, and
that hurts my heart.
please don't.
I
wish
gotta
death
go.
on me.
I have to leave. I'm just gonna.
please don't leave, and you know, and I don't hate her for or hate on her for any reason. It's just I like to go against the grain. So she probably does make good music.
Yeah.
I know she does, but
No, I mean, she's doing a little different. She's moving differently, So I understand a lot. It's not, not a lot of people like really like. They're like, I don't know. Like,
you know what she,
but
know, cool look.
I would, give her a chance.
Oh yeah,
What is that?
I don't know. Like, she has a cool look, but you know what? I'm just a hater. Like, I have no reason. It's like, you wake up one morning and it's like, you know what? I don't think I want to like her music. So,
Okay.
You have to be a hater.
As long as you're consistent with it, as long as you're consistent, I don't mind it.
Yeah,
just
one day I'll flip. One day, maybe like a year from now.
If you flip, then we'll have an issue.
All right. Well, I guess I got to continue hating on her. So,
yeah, be consistent.
All right, I'll be a consistent hater from here on out. Now, Billie Eilish, you're a big fan. Samson says now, did he say he was gonna make this song first and you make the art? At what point did you end up being a feature on this song?
So I actually asked him. I asked him if I could just like feature a little bit, because I really I love the song like so much. Like I love the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, let me have fun. Like, it was just very like, I didn't like expect to, like, nothing. It was just like nonchalant, like, can I feature? Like, and it wasn't even so much a feature, just as like adding like background vocals,
Mm-hmm.
But it was still really cool for me. And it's still cool, like, listening to it. And I'm just like, oh yeah, like, that's me. Like,
It sounds really good. It sounds really good. Now, did he know that you sing?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Now, what was his reaction once you asked to feature?
He was like, what do you mean? He was like, do you want to like rap on it? And I was like, no. Yeah, I think I don't think he was like, he took me seriously at first, because I was like, it was pretty left field of me to just like ask, so yeah, so I don't think he was like expecting me to ask him to do that. So yeah.
Well, I got to tap into your singing career at this point, because he didn't know you sung. I don't think it's something that you showcase too much. So, where did this come from? Out of the blue, for the outside looking in, you're a featured singer.
Well, like I said, I mean, I wouldn't really call myself a singer per se. My mom sings. She's always like had like a voice. She used to like do like karaoke, back in like the 80s, the 90s, and she was like almost discovered. But yeah, so I guess like the gene just kind of like carried on. And also on like my dad's side, like both of my great grandparents were musicians. So music is definitely like a big, my grandfather too is a musician. Music is like a thing in our family, Samson too. So it's like, I feel like, we all sing, you know,
Mhm.
whether, you know, we sound good at times versus other times, you know, but, you know, I feel like everybody is a singer on some level, and everybody sings, you know, whether they say they do or they don't. Yeah, I was just feeling a little confident that day, and I was like, I got this. I can sing,
Hey,
you know?
so what did you record it on? Do you like, did you have like a mic or and like, you know, all sorts of stuff?
No,
No.
I use the voice memo app on my iPhone. I went under my bed sheets to cancel out any background noise, and I had my iPad going with the song. He sent me the song unfinished, and I had my iPad going. I had my headphones in one ear, one set of headphones plugged into the song, and then another set of headphones plugged into my phone that had voice memo open. And I had the mic going connected to my phone with the headphones. And I was listening to the song. I was waiting for my cue, and I would sing at the same time the song was playing, just trying to like to get like the tempo. That's how I did it. Yeah.
That's creative. That's interesting. But you know what? It shows your dedication and how much you love this song.
Yeah.
I'm
I
trying to
guess
imagine.
so.
Okay, so like the iPad, iPhone, whatever,
Yep.
headphones here, headphones there, mic.
Yep.
That's yeah, that was some dedication and hard work. Well, it
Yeah.
sounds good after and it's on an iPod, I mean iPhone voice memo app. Like that's really good. It just goes to show that, you know, if you're an up and coming musician, you can make it happen. You
Yeah.
don't need $500 microphones and stuff like that. You just need
I think the key is just like canceling out the background noise. You know, don't underestimate the covers, you know?
Mhm.
That's the key.
Don't underestimate the sheets.
Don't underestimate the sheets.
Lesson for today. Now now that's all the questions that I have written down for you. So at this point, I just like to ask, is there anything that I missed? Any hidden talents you have? Any oh yeah, you have a hidden talent. So what is your hidden
Don't. I don't.
Okay, well let's go with this. Let's break that down. What is one thing that Victoria does that a lot of people don't know about?
I don't know.
Yeah, I put you on the spot.
I know. I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be like the singing. Like I don't sing like ever. So I mean that was like a big deal like for me. Yeah, I mean, I guess now that's out there, so I guess everybody knows what I do.
Oh yeah, and I guess like at this point, like people might expect a project from you soon, a musical project. Can we expect that summer 2021?
That would be really cool. I don't know if I'll ever go that far with it. If I do, I'll definitely be in contact with Crowded Places and thus you. I forgot your name.
It's the Cool Hand Podcast.
Cool,
something you got to deal with.
There you go. I was gonna say your real name for a second. I don't know.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, everybody done exposed that my name is Quentin on here. I wanted to like kind of keep it low for the people who don't know me, but they done said my full name. I'm out there now. So
I'm sorry. I was like trying to keep discretion. You know where?
Oh no, it's okay. They know who I am. But okay, Victoria. Thank you very much for being on here. Once again, I'm a fan of your work.
Thank you.
It's really nice, and I hope this is whoever watches this got to know something new about you, Thank you for taking the time out talking about not only your work, but what you've done with Crowded Places. Somewhere soon, dropping 11/6. That's November 6th. I will be going on Instagram Live, and I'm going to talk my talk. I'm going to listen to it and talk my talk, y'all. So I'm dropping this tomorrow, too, by the way, because I'm a part of this promo run. So coming soon. But this is the Cool Hand Podcast. Cool Hand Podcast, something you got to deal with.